First of all, based on the description of the activity of like, we're gonna spend a birthday in a Google Doc. It sounds boring and awful and like really businessy, but it was actually like really delightful because turns out if you get all the people that you care most about to gather together and like give you really earnest feedback, you just like feel the emotion coming through, even if it's in this like pretty sterile environment of Google Doc.
Jamie recently celebrated his birthday. It was in a Google Doc, and it was lit.
Today on the pod, we're going to talk about a different way of authentically celebrating your birthday.
Let's get into it. So you recently celebrated a birthday, and you decided to do something a little unique that I got to be a part of. But yeah, why don't you start by just describing like what the impetus was, like what it is, and then what the rationale was.
So the thing I organized for my birthday was calling it my birthday life council. And this was an idea that I took from one of my good friends, Jason Ben, who did this for his 35th birthday. So the way this was originally pitched to me from him was that he was going to have a doom circle for his birthday.
Doom circle?
Yeah, doom circle. It's not actually what it ended up being. Doom circle is like an interesting like social practice where you gather all of your closest friends and confidants, and then you get them to spend an extended amount of time telling you why they think you're going to fail
in life,
or to accomplish like any specific thing that you're trying to accomplish.
Okay, like whatever goal that you set.
Yeah. So it's not just like a 360 review kind of thing. It really is like the prompt is something like, I'm going to fail. If I fail, why? Like what is going to stop me?
Like they help you figure out all the failure modes.
Exactly. We did like he did a much more wholesome version of that for his birthday, where that was one element, but the opening question was like, it's 5 years from now, my life is going spectacularly. I'm like on the way to accomplish all of my life goals. I'm on the way to like a beautiful relationship with the love of my life. Like, what was it in the last 5 years that brought me to this moment? So looking forward from today, like what would have to happen in order for that to be true? And I think that like I might have, if I had this rough idea without seeing the execution of it, I might be like, okay, yeah, I'm down to do this. And then I'll just like ask every person individually. I'll either do a one-on-one with them, or I'll like just ask them like in a group setting one-on-one, tell me what they thought. But he had a different idea because he spent a lot of time thinking about kind of collective intelligence things and how to get people to collaborate really effectively. So in a thing that feels very like not birthday-ish, he's like, we're going to do this in a Google Doc.
Love that.
My birthday party is going to be centered around a Google Doc. So what he did was he dumped in the question into this doc and then got everyone to write their answers in parallel. And once everyone had like 10 minutes to write down the answers to that question, then he invited everyone to comment on each other's responses. So this is really this idea of like, how do you really leverage the collective intelligence of all these people? Not only getting all their input, but getting their help starting to see the patterns between other people's input in a way that did not require like him to be the one mediating that whole conversation. So the questions were, the first one I mentioned around my life has gone very, very well. Like what has happened to get me there? The second question is like, what is my fatal flaw that will prevent me from getting to there? He did a slightly different one where it was like, what is like your median prediction for where I'm at? If everything kind of like goes in a middling way, like where am I headed? And then the last two questions were, when is the time that you've been annoyed with me? And the last bit was just like, is there anything else that you feel called to say right now? So first of all, based on the description of the activity of like, we're going to spend a birthday in a Google Doc, it sounds boring and awful and like really businessy, but it was actually like really delightful because turns out if you get all the people that you care most about to gather together and like give you really earnest feedback, then you just like feel the emotion coming through, even if it's in this like pretty sterile environment of Google Doc. So I think just like going through that and seeing how much fun it was, that was already a pretty strong sell for me. The thing that was a really strong sell for me was recognizing that he like collected all the feedback. He like sat on it for a while, and then he actually made really significant life change as a result.
Really?
Yeah, like so for him, like one of the really clear things was that a lot of people were encouraging him to stop working alone because it was making him unhappy, and he just like shifted his like career path as a result of that. So that was like pretty inspiring to me, both as like this seems like a fun thing, and this seems like this actually could be quite informative on how I decide to live the next couple of years of my life. So I wanted to take that, and then just do that for my own birthday. So I invited 10 friends. We all just like hopped on a Google Meet, and it was delightful. It was like really, really fun. It felt super, super heartwarming. It was really fun just like seeing my friends interact. It was really fun and interesting just seeing how consistent the feedback was, which was reassuring to me because it meant that the way that I'm presenting myself to different people that I know from different realms of my life was like pretty consistent. So overall, it was just like a really beautiful experience that I really hope more of my friends steal and like take this idea and do it for their birthday, just because it's like so fascinating to see a single person's life from the lens of many of their closest friends.
Right. I think in one of our older episodes, we talked about assembling the like brain trust.
Yeah.
And this is like a way to I guess, use or leverage the brain trust. It's at both levels that you were saying, right? One is coming up with the ideas and then also using their brains to make the connections as well, which is pretty powerful. Zooming out a bit, I'm curious, like, of all the things that you could have seen yourself doing for your birthday, like, how did we come to this one specifically? Like, did you make a list of like, I feel like, going out to a restaurant, like going to a bar, hosting a thing at your place, like more conventional? How did they?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just I really had 3 plans. So part of why I did this one was a lot of my closest friends just don't live in the same city as me anymore. I mean, including you right now.
Right.
So I wanted to be able to just gather together all of these people in a single place in a way that was just impractical. If we had to geographically all co-locate to a place. And a lot of like kind of online hangout things, I just find really awkward and uncomfortable. But having this like very specific focused thing to do together made that feel a lot better. So that was one element. And then there was these 2 other elements I wanted to do for my birthday that were much more in-person things. One of them was I wanted to like run a dance class with a bunch of my friends, which I think would have been really fun. Honestly, I just got lazy and didn't end up doing it. I'm going to save that for another year. I do intend to do it. The other one was just like have a very simple house party and gather together a wider group of my friends. Because the Life Council thing, I think, would not work super well with like 30 people. I mean, maybe it would. Would be very interesting.
Right.
But there's just like a specific group of my friends that I really trust know me pretty well that would be just like super, super high signal.
Do you think there's something about it? Like, because it sounds like both you and Jason, the way you guys ran it, it was like less than 10 people.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Like maybe there's something about that, like where beyond a certain point is just a little too chaotic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also beyond a certain point, my ability to like welcome people into the space at all just gets completely demolished.
Right.
And I cared about being able to do that. Like it took us a while to start because people just kept, as we were like joining the room in the first place, I also stole this from Jason, just asked people to tell stories of memories they had of me and them together. And that just like kept rolling on for a lot longer than I expected, but it was still fun with 10 people. Like, I think again, if it was like 30, I would have had to cut a lot of people off. Whereas with that number, basically everyone that wanted to tell a story told the story.
Right. Yours was 8.
Mine was 10 total, including me.
Got it. And then Jason's was a same number?
I can't remember at the top of my head. I think it was like, around the same.
And then just to set the stage, we had to Google Doc. We were also on a Zoom call together.
Yeah. I think, yes, that part was definitely crucial.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we like played some music. Like one of my friends just spends a significant amount of his life on Google Meets for work. So whenever I was like, hey, can we do this following thing? He's like, I got you. So like he managed to set up a second machine that was just the DJ box, and he like screen shared the Spotify playlist of what we were going through.
Yes.
And whenever
he's also a DJ.
Yeah, he's also a DJ, which helps.
Google Meets a lot, also DJs.
Exactly.
The perfect combination.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I was just like, if anyone has DJ experience and knows Google Meet a lot, it'd be great if they played music. And he's like, yeah, okay. Message received. I got it.
I love that.
Yeah. So I don't think there was a lot of other things I considered. It wasn't like all right, guys, this is for my birthday. Let me like brainstorm. It was like, that thing was great.
Let me do
I'm taking that.
I see.
It was not like an elaborate planning process for this.
You're saying it's not that deep.
It's not that deep.
It just seems a good idea. I will do good ideas.
Right. It's just like, I like this. It's good. I don't need to maximize this. This is like, I guess, another thing in the kind of vein of trying to lean more into satisficing. Like, I see a good thing. I now have a good thing for my birthday. I'm trying to do it there.
Do you think you've like historically, like looking back on, because this is coming to mind because it's not really the conventional way that you would consider celebrating.
Yeah.
So I guess like looking back on your arc, I guess like do you generally like to celebrate in general? And what does that look like before coming to this version of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was much more the in-person like house party component of it was just like pure celebration. Which like I think definitely has a place, and whenever I do set out to do that, I'm always like very gratified to bring friends together in a different way, in a way that's like a lot more like, you know, playful, like way less reflective, just like gooning around, like just stupid conversations instead of asking people to help guide my life path for the next 5 years. But I think that I really do value having both of those elements, and whenever life gets tilted too far out of whack, either towards like aggressive introspection or towards like totally blind type 1 fun, I always feel the imbalance. So I think that in some ways, having my birthday have both these elements just felt like an expression of my desire for that balance. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Are you going to do it for your birthday next year?
I'm considering it. It's also a little scary. Yeah. It's kind of, it almost has like, for me, it's almost like, I don't want to say it's kind of like therapy, but like one of the main reasons I go to therapy is because I'm like, I would like you to slap me with the cold hard truth.
Oh, right.
And so this is kind of like that a little bit, where it's probably good for me. I probably should do it. It's also like a few months away, so I'll think about that in the future.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it would play it for you, but I think for me, there was actually far less stuff that was like, oh man, I'm insecure about this and people are throwing at me. Pretty much all of the constructive feedback stuff was like, oh, like I actually had no idea. This is really helpful to know. So I think I wasn't that afraid of that, and it also just like didn't really happen in practice. Yeah, like when you think about doing this and you have like a bit of fear come up, what is the thing that you're afraid of?
It's like a little bit of like vulnerability fear of being like put on the spot. And then also just like, it's like you'll get a visceral sense of like how other people perceive you. Yeah. Which I've learned to be comfortable with in the sense of I just don't care or don't think about it too much anymore. But I don't know. I also see the value. There's a lot of things that, you know, are maybe obvious that people can see from an external perspective that it's hard to see when you're in it. So yeah, I could see it happening. I just need to warm up to it a bit, I think. Build that courage up.
What would you be afraid of learning about yourself or learning about how people perceive you?
I don't know that it's anything in specific. Yeah, it's a very amorphous fear. I think it has flavors of the like type of afraid that I always make myself surmount, because I'm like, if it goes down and I didn't do this because I'm scared, then you know. I guess another meta fear is that like, who would I invite? You know?
Yeah, it's an interesting clarifying thing to like.
Who would you trust with this kind of stuff?
Yeah, who would you trust? There's like different levels of trust here. There's like, who do you trust to actually know you well enough to be useful? Yeah. Who do you trust to like actually give you real feedback? And who do you trust to be kind about that process? Yeah. And trying to find people that sit at all of that.
Maybe that's actually what it is. Yeah. I'm like, the combination of things is kind of hard. Yeah. And I'm like, there's definitely, I could think of maybe like 4 at least.
Solid.
But yeah, it's some of them I'm also just like, I trust that, really smart, really competent, my best interest at heart. Don't think they would hold me gently. And they would just like punch me in the gut.
Yeah.
You gotta hustle harder.
Yeah.
Not working hard enough. Things like that. But even that's funny. Like I think about it and I'm like, I think about it like that, but also I'm realizing the moment that I also like built up quite a bit of armor.
Yeah.
Like, I make those jokes, but actually, it doesn't really faze me that much. But yeah, I think that would be it. Kind of this like meta thought of like, do I have that many close friends? Maybe not, which is kind of, maybe that's the thing I should look at a little more. And then the second part is, will they hold me gently? And I don't know. I mean, one thing that I think was clear from being a part of your experience was that like, I don't think the vibe that I got, which I'm realizing might just be something I told myself without you explicitly saying, is this like, don't hold back kind of energy. No,
that is like pretty explicitly what I was asking for.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the classic, like, it's like, it's what is the saying? It's like the more bitter the medicine, the better it is for you. Kind of thing. So yeah, in the back of my mind, I'm like, especially as now I'm articulating it out, like I should probably do it. It seems like a great idea, to be honest.
Yeah, and like 4 people that know you well, that's like plenty.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Like
a very nice, cozy party of people that are like have your best interest at heart and have strong opinions about where to push you.
I suppose. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not committing.
Yeah.
But probably I'll do it.
I'll prod you a little bit about it later.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, my version of this has always been like every year for my birthday, I usually ask people for suggestions.
Yeah, totally. So like, I feel like that actually was the first thing I did that was in the same realm. I stole that from you.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I mean, to give context, every year I make this Google form and there's 4 fields in the Google form. Like I ask basically like the prompt is give me a suggestion for anything for pretty much anything. And then I give examples because I realized over the years that that's not that helpful.
Right.
So I give concrete examples as well of like, it could be like a book you read or like a video or a podcast. Or it could be like, I noticed this thing about you, that I want to either celebrate or this other thing that I wish you would stop doing or like other things that you should start doing. So I also ask for like processes as well for different ways that people live their lives. And the overall theme is that like it should be a thing that like positively impacted you in your life in some way in recent memory.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have 4 fields for that. So one is the catch-all generic. And then my other questions ask specifically for like, what are the things you appreciate about me? And then the next one is just like feedback of any kind.
Yeah.
That you want to, for how I show up, how things that I've done or not done. And then the last one is kind of like the form by default is anonymous. And so the last one is, if you would like to self-identify, you can do that here. But yeah, it's a pretty simple form. And I've been doing it for the last maybe 5 years. And I like post on social media basically.
Yeah.
Used to be Facebook back in the day. Now it's mostly Instagram because no one uses Facebook anymore. And yeah, I consistently get like 50 responses.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it's cool because like, this is kind of the exact opposite direction of what you're describing. I get a lot of messages or submissions from people who I haven't seen in years, sometimes decades. Like really old high school friends.
Yeah.
And like the messages are like, I don't know if you remember me, but I'm so-and-so from high school or so-and-so from whatever program. So it's a really wide range. I get a lot of books, I get a lot of podcasts, but occasionally I'll get like a I admire you for this thing. Yeah. I think someone once one of the submissions over the years was like, I've always appreciated like, how charismatic you are. And I'm like, I never think about myself that way.
Yeah.
And honestly, I haven't felt that way in a very long time. I think like the last time was probably in high school. There were like many forums for this kind of stuff.
Right.
Just in school clubs, like I ran for like student council and like a bunch of like leadership positions. So I was like constantly being social, and like my face was sometimes like for student council campaigns, you literally make posts with
leadership. Right.
So my face is out there more, and so I felt that a bit more. But ever since, it's been like 10 years,
Yeah.
So I haven't really felt that way in a long time, and it kind of brought me back to like, oh, interesting. I come off as that. I come off as charismatic to people.
Yeah, totally.
Which is kind of wild. To me, I guess. Yeah. So, yeah, things like that are the kind of the nice gems. And then obviously there's also some rarer still, like the negative feedback of like, one that stood out to me is someone once told me that like, I'm paraphrasing, but like sometimes I apparently had gone to a party at one point, and I think I might have brought like an entourage or whoever. Like they perceived it as me bringing an entourage, and they were just kind of like, yeah, like I trust your judgment. Just like be aware of like, when you bring a lot of people, like as a host, it is a little bit of a burden to like all of a sudden have to host like like X number of extra people.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, interesting. I have never thought of it like that before. I also don't remember the last time I brought an entourage.
Right. So it must have stayed with someone for a pretty long time then for it to like.
Or just like their idea of an entourage and my idea of an entourage are very different. Like maybe it's just one or two people, and in my mind that's totally cool. Like an entourage in my mind is like 8+ or something. Like so like you open the door and then there's like a seemingly endless flood of people.
Right.
It's like, oh, and another one, and another one, and another one. But I also just don't really do that much cross-pollination that way, honestly. Where if someone invites me to a party, I don't really, unless it's a close friend, I'm not really like, oh, here's my +1. So anyway, things like that are kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And then I think another one I got was like, I think someone at some point, this is a few years ago now, or like, I wish you like invested more deeply into your relationships as opposed to so broadly. Because like I said, you know a lot of people. And I was like, okay, interesting. At the point that I got that, I was already like, yes, that is the thing I'm working on. But yeah, I digress. I think like this type of stuff is, it's very valuable. And for me, it was always like, I think getting ideas, different ways of thinking, different ways of living my life, feedback about my character, like it's just so much more valuable than like a mug.
The canonical generic birthday gift. Here is a mug.
Which is
ironic. You can drink liquid out of it.
Yeah, which is ironic because one of my birthdays, I just moved into a new place and I actually didn't have any mugs. And so for my birthday party that year, I was like, if you would like, bring me a mug. And I think it worked beautifully. I got like 30 mugs like in one night. I was like, okay, I'm fully stocked with mugs now. So I'm good to go. But yeah, it just felt like much more valuable than anything someone could buy me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think feeling parts of your life reorient in response to feedback and be able to tie it to like specific people that you still have in your life. Something about that just feels so like almost cozy to me. Like I can feel the network weaving tighter, and I can feel like that like the kind of interconnective tissue of that group being gratitude and trust. Like I think the other thing that I really appreciate about being invited to Jason's for this is like, to me, it really demonstrated like a level of trust and like respect for my opinion that like I didn't like really know that that's like what our dynamic was at that point. So I think it like helped kind of recontextualize that. So I think outside of the actual event itself, I'd like to think that to at least some extent it is also like giving those friends permission on a longer timescale way of like bringing this kind of feedback to me, because it's like me directly telling each of them like, I care about your opinion, and I think that like your input meaningfully can shift my life direction. And I'm guessing similarly, sending out this form saying like, look, I want everyone's like feedback. I'm guessing it also makes you more approachable for people that want to send that, even if it's like not exactly on the cycle of your birthday. Like, I guess people are not like, okay, I have some feedback. I got to wait 312 days and then I'll send it.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the other reason why I think it's cool is because it opens an avenue for getting to like thoughts that people might have that are relevant and potentially beneficial to me that I otherwise would not have access to. I feel like there's so many thoughts that are just kind of in passing. You're like, oh, I noticed this thing. It's like not that big of a deal though. Like it's not really worth shaking the boat, rocking the boat just to bring it up. And so, yeah, I think there's value in like sussing those things out. Or creating a space where it's like safe to do that, where that safety comes from the anonymity in theory. But yeah. Are there any like from your process, like any specific learnings that you want to share from the life advice you got from your friends?
There was a couple of things. Some of it was things that I'd already heard, just reinforced by so many different people. So one of them was just to, the strongest one was stop overthinking everything. Like when I asked the question of what is my fatal flaw that's like holding me back from accomplishing these things, one of my friends immediately yelled at me like, easiest question in my life.
That's so funny.
And just like immediately in all caps wrote overthinking.
That's so funny.
And then in brackets was like greatest strength, also greatest weakness. So that was like very consistent. But I think even more specifically, several people were like, stop obsessing so much about like global impact. Just like think about how you can do good for the people around you. Think about like what you should want to do that brings you joy and follow that instead, and just trust that will bring you to a place where like you are really contributing a lot to the people that you care about and to the world in a larger scale. And I think that especially was helpful to me coming from a few people that I view as like very dedicated towards some of these causes, where even they were like, yeah, but like I'm doing this because I'm actually viscerally interested in this. And if you aren't, and this is like kind of leaving you in a conflicted place, you should just double down on the things that you know you like. So there was some amount of feedback that was just like you already kind of know what you like. Just do it and stop feeling guilty about it.
Yeah.
Like your flavor of that, the feedback was like, it seems like you feel guilty just like kind of existing. And then everyone piled on being like, yes, whoa, like dropping the gems here. And I was like, all right, this is clearly a consistent vibe that I'm giving out. And people are seeing me tie myself into knots for no apparently good reason. So everyone was kind of encouraging me, just like, go continue experimenting, go work on stuff with friends, and stop thinking about it so hard. Just like go do stuff. So I think that was like already the direction I was moving, but this gives me further permission and further affirmation that like that is a good direction for me. So that was one thing. Things that I hadn't, that was not as top of mind for me. One of them, these two are related. One of them was that a couple of friends said it's just like kind of hard to get my time. And I think that is like me being spread a little thin over many, many different things. So that's one thing. And then the related thing is that people were encouraging me to organize more events, because people really enjoy it when I bring people together. They like really enjoy the company of my larger friend circle, and they just like want to get to meet more people in that. So I think both of those just like, talking to you occasionally is cool, but like I would like to actually spend more time with you. And part of, I think the reason these things are related in my mind is I've always, for the last many, many, many years, biased really strongly towards one-on-one interactions. And I'm still going to do that to quite a large extent, but I think there's more room for me to be like, okay, maybe I should try like on the regular, in a more casual, like weekly setting, bring people together. Whereas right now it's kind of funny in that I have two modes of operation. It's either like one-on-one,
massive party,
40 people. And there's just like,
no in between.
I'm like never the instigator for like, maybe I should have a 4-person dinner. Even though I actually really like those environments. It's just been a while since I've like had that as something that's kind of top of mind for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess a third thing that's kind of connected to this, a couple people were kind of just encouraging me to just, not in their words, the way that I interpreted this is just like kind of let my world get a little bit smaller for a while. I've been kind of all over the place over the last couple of years, jumping into many different communities, exploring different domains, putting on different hats, like thinking about different roles I might play. And I think the encouragement there was like, you already have a great setup. Just like invest into the setup that you already have. This is like a little bit similar to feedback you got around, invest more deeply in these things rather than continuing to expand the network.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of taking all those things to heart. There's a couple people that similarly were encouraging me to just like, put down roots somewhere, like make a home, like a capital, I think one person literally said a capital H home.
Love that.
They like, they wanted to like enter into a home and then just like be in kind of like a Jamie micro universe.
Right.
Whereas right now, I mean, I have like art that I haven't put up in my room, even though I've been in my house for more than a year. Something about it just like feels very transient to me. So I think the nudge there was really specifically to set down roots and like really invest. Yeah. And like, look at the things that are going well and just like keep doing them, ramp them up, figure out how to make them great. Yeah.
It sounds like all of the feedback resonated. Like, was there anything that you disagreed with? Anything that like, you're like, I can see where you're coming from, but like not a priority, or just like, is there a filter there? Or do you think actually most of it would pass whatever filter you applied?
I think most of it would pass basically whatever filter I applied. In part because like so much of it was so consistent. There was like some bits of feedback that was more, I wish there was like a better way of us staying in touch more regularly. But in most of those cases, the other person acknowledged that like, this is just hard. Like we don't live in the same city.
Right.
We don't have, like, we're not even in the same time zone. It's just like, both of our lives are kind of chaotic.
You're busy.
Right. And like, even though it'd be nice to spend more time together, like some of the busyness there are the things that we respect about each other. So it's like hard to figure out how to make that work.
Yeah.
So I think like basically all of it resonated. Maybe like none of it like really came out of left field to me. Yeah, it was just funny, like also seeing. It's like one thing that's kind of funny when you have this kind of structure rather than a form, when it's just like a Google Doc, is like the formatting itself becomes this like weird form of expression. Yeah. Where like some people, or one of our PM friends just like made like literally a table of like, goal, next steps, like action items, things like that. And it was like categorized by like different realms of my life, like health, relationships, like, career. Yeah, it was just like, it was so funny. And then yours was much more like, these are the strange ramblings of 1K Lau.
Yes, which is true.
Yeah. And then at some point, like part of the doc turned into a tutorial for how to find photos on Google Photos. It was like a step-by-step. And this is all just like mashed together into one crazy document that just feels like it is like a collage of what this party was. That was just fun.
That's a really good way of putting it, actually, describing it as a party.
Yeah, I mean, it was a weird kind of party, but it was like, in my mind, it did feel like a party where there was like lots of people like riffing off each other and like weird side conversations happening through comments and.
Dude, honestly, the more we're talking about it, like, I know I said it was an unconventional way of celebrating, but honestly, if you think about the canonical like definition of it, maybe it's the other way around. Maybe like the norm is like not good, because like if you think about the norm, it's like a house party or whatever, and it's like 10, 20 people, and it's like each of them spend a very small amount of time talking or interacting with you. They interact mostly with each other. There's like one moment where we embarrass you and sing happy birthday. That's about it. But whereas this actually, like, the vast majority of the time was like thinking about Jamie. And you had like a solid hour to embarrass me. You did continuously through the entire event. That was the best part, literally calling you out in a Google Doc in front of everybody else. So honestly, I honestly think actually maybe that's actually more true to the idea of celebrating a person.
Yeah, totally.
You know? Maybe we have it backwards. Like
a birthday party feels like kind of just like you're celebrating in proximity to a person.
Exactly, yeah.
Whereas it's not.
You're not really celebrating the person. You know, it's like a good excuse to have, a party, basically.
Exactly. And this also reminds me of something that like one of our past guests talked about for organizing events, that like don't be a chill host. Like I was pretty specific, being like, all right, everyone, we are doing this thing. Y'all got 10 minutes, then we're gonna move on to the next thing.
It's true, yeah.
And
I think it worked well.
Yeah. And it's not that like I'm trying to remove the authentic expression. It's that I'm trying to concentrate the authentic expression.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't just evolve into everyone being like, so how everyone's Tuesday going?
No, yeah. I think I could not agree more.
Yeah.
I think like it ended up being a great use of time. I think everyone had a really good time. And then, we, I think, all got something at least emotional out of it. And then you got a lot of that as well, that connectedness, but also good thoughts. And I think everyone's really happy to contribute. I think it's W's across the board.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. If someone out there who's listening wants to run this themselves, like how would you describe the formula?
Yeah.
Or how you set this up?
I think the formula is you send a calendar invite to a group of people that you trust to know you well, be honest with you about feedback, and to do so in a constructive manner. Then you like send them the invite, you send them this context of like, this is like a birthday life council or like you can call it whatever you want. Like, it should be like kind of tuned to your own personality, whatever that is. And then the event kickoff is just like as people are trailing in, you can ask people to tell stories about memories they have with you. And then you like boot up a Google Doc, you paste in each question one by one. So you got to figure out your questions ahead of time. So you paste the questions in one by one.
Like live.
Yeah, I'm pasting the questions live.
Right. So for more context, we started with a blank Google Doc.
Yeah.
And then you pasted in one question, we answered the question, and then you pasted another question, and then we answered that.
Right. I didn't want everyone to be thinking about all the questions at the same time.
Exactly.
So one question at a time, and then asked everyone to start writing their own separate answer. And then once those questions, or once everyone had their initial kind of answer to that, when it seemed like people were kind of trailing off and they were running out of things to say, then you encourage everyone to look at everyone else's answer and then comment on it and give their thoughts about it, whether you agree, disagree, whether you just like have additional thoughts to clarify parts of it. And again, like don't make it like super serious. Don't be like, I need like specific bullet points and deadlines. Just being like, just answer the question however you think makes sense to you. A very small random like suggestion is to have people comment not using Google Comments, but just like write it as bullet points underneath. The main reason that that's really helpful is if it's all written as actual text, you can copy paste the whole thing into AI and then get it to summarize. Whereas if in comments, you can't do that as easily.
I love that.
Yeah. So like that's like what I did before recording this, so I could like get a sense of what the themes of feedback were. And then I think also it's probably good to, once you have that doc, like put it away for a little while after the party and then reread it later. So I think that when it's like really fresh, there's like kind of a lot of information. It's hard to really absorb it when you're riding the high of having gathered your friends together. And I think it's the kind of thing that needs like a little bit more space. You got to let it breathe. You got to let it decant a little bit.
Right. And you're already kind of reading it live anyway. So you kind of already have digested it a little bit.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
You can kind of chill out for a little bit, come back to it again later.
Yeah. And then I think it is a good idea to play music while people are writing so that it's not just silent.
It's good vibes.
Yeah. And then like if you're the person, so I would have DJ'd, but my computer was being really slow.
Yeah.
But you as the host should probably DJ because everyone else is busy writing. Yeah. Whereas like you are just reading and vibing. So you can DJ the situation. And then also like use the music to infuse your personality into the event as well.
And then you'd say like, I think ours was like an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which I think is probably enough.
Yeah. I feel like an hour might be a little tight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'd recommend like 90-minute block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's helpful. Maybe it's that simple.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Anything else that you want to talk about or that comes
I
up?
mean, we've a tiny bit of time, so
A little bit of time, yeah.
yeah. I was just thinking of other interesting like birthday rituals that I've seen or done. So like in a previous year, I decided to just make a giant collaborative drawing with all my friends online.
I also remember that.
Right. This was like also deep in COVID, so
Yeah.
I could not gather people together.
Yes.
So I simply like I put on music and then I just made a I did this in Figma, but you can do this in whatever collaborative drawing thing you want. And I just like got people to start drawing a crazy picture together. And there was like basically no instruction. I just said like, all right, everyone,
Draw.
And then lots of people drew like really ridiculous, sometimes vaguely lewd pictures of me or like pasted it in images and then just like drew crazy things. It just became like a giant meme that was centered vaguely around things to do with me.
I love that.
And that was also just like a really, really fun thing. And similarly, it was just like a way of being like, all right, everyone, you have an hour to embarrass me with this drawing collectively. Like, go. And that was all super fun. Like, obviously, that was not like way less like of a self-reflective thing.
Yeah.
But it was just a really fun activity to get everyone to jam on this like weird thing. So if you're looking for something a little more playful, a little bit less self-reflective, that was also pretty fun.
Honestly, my takeaway from this is we need to reclaim the definition of a birthday party. I think all of these are way better.
Yeah.
than like friends together at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think I've totally flipped my opinion. I came in with like conventional definition, and then I'm like, if you think about what a birthday party should be and what we're celebrating, like I think all these ideas are way more interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Celebrating is like kind of it's like an awkward thing because it's like you all kind of want to throw energy at something.
Yeah.
But it's not really a thing that we have a super rich shared cultural like toolbox for. Aside from let's get silly and drunk, which is sometimes that is like the kind of pressure release valve you really want.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like one big hammer. And I think we want just like more tools for figuring out what celebration even means. I mean, like a thing that we did for a product launch that I helped with while I was still at Figma is like a super long, drawn out project that took way longer than any of us thought. And I had this idea for celebrating where we made certificates for every individual person about like it was like basically superlatives.
Okay.
And they were like all intentionally ridiculous things. It was not like, like most effective engineer or like
MVP.
Really. Yeah, it was like best like snake doodles. Or it was like really, really silly shit.
I see.
And then what we did was, as the actual gathering, rather than just presenting this, to also make this like more of like a collaborative, like we're all doing this together thing. Similarly, we've done this in Figma, because again, this is at Figma. And we just got everyone to decorate these certificates together. So we would go one by one, being like, all right, everyone, we're all gonna like decorate like whatever, Andrew's certificate now. And then similarly, it would just like turn into a crazy meme of that person in real time with everyone like working on this together and like just doing this crazy co-creation endeavor.
Yeah.
And that was also like pretty lovely. I don't know, like what kind of celebrations have like felt the most meaningful to you?
All of my celebrations are incredibly uninspired, I must say. I think the most interesting thing is this feedback thing.
Yeah.
Have I ever tried to do anything interesting?
I mean, the canonical like kind of work thing, which has some kind of interesting elements to it, is like launch specific swag. Like, have you done that before?
No.
Oh, whoa.
No, definitely not. For birthday swag?
No, not birthday swag. I'm talking about like for company launches, for instance.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
product
yeah.
launches.
Yeah. That's definitely happened before.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird meme situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have friends that have done birthday swag.
Yes,
We've done this before.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have not done that. I think the most that I've ever done is like go from trying to have like 100-person parties to like 10. That's the most creative I got in terms of.
What if I take a 0 off?
Yeah.
What a concept.
Yeah. I mean, the intention there is, right, just like, again, breadth versus depth. Like, okay, I value deeper. Like the odds of us doing more interesting things, having more interesting conversations is higher when you have less people that you're, specifically a small number of people that you're close with.
Mm-hmm.
I think that works best. But it doesn't really get to the heart of it, right? Which is like, which some of these ideas encourage more directly, which is that like that connection, right? And different flavors of deep connection. Like there's the emotional connection, and then there's like very much like intellectual brain trust connection, right? Which is what I like about this life council idea a lot. You get both of those very directly.
Yeah.
Whereas, I've been doing, I honestly not ever thought about it much, but I've been essentially doing it indirectly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. We should like write a thing.
Yeah.
It would be a sick thing to have, like a blog post or like maybe even a small book that's just like better birthday party ideas.
Yeah.
Like you can go to the restaurant, go to the club, go to the bar, go to the house party, sure. But what if you wanted to do something more interesting?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's an interesting take, right, on like doing some of these like social experimenty, social dynamic things. And it's your birthday, so you have license to.
Yeah. I really
do whatever you want.
Even though I think that birthday parties on the whole are like a little bit silly,
right?
I do really like this idea that we have this shared social contract that says that like on someone's birthday,
We do whatever they want.
they get away with a lot more stuff.
Yes.
And I kind of like that.
I think so too.
And I think it needs to be leveraged in more interesting ways.
Yes, it's your special day. And yeah, I think the most fun way to do it is stuff like this.
Yeah. Like I think another thing that was kind of in this vein was like one of our friends hosting a roast of themselves.
Yes, that was great too.
Yeah. I think that works that was really fun and like high commitment and
great turnout.
Yeah.
There's like the panel's like 12 people.
Yeah.
All 12 people wrote jokes.
Yeah, it was great.
Yes, that was
very stressful, but
yes,
it was stressful leading up to it mostly.
Same. I was so confident in my jokes. 2 days prior, I immediately like fell off a cliff and was like, "Wait, what if these all suck?" I'm like, "These are bangers, 100%." And then I'm like, "Wait a minute, I've never even considered the possibility of failing. Maybe we should do that." And then I'm like, "Oh shit." Yeah, but it ended up being great.
Yeah,
they were actually all bangers. It helps when everyone's friends. And they all know the same person,
right? And
they all are trying to roast them.
Yeah,
that helps the most.
Yeah.
Some of them were really good. I remember I did like a victory lap. So someone said something so good. I like got out of my seat and like ran across.
I remember this.
I was like, I cannot contain this anymore. Like, oh my god, that was an incredible roast. So I'm telling you, man. Like, you ask your friends to hit hard, they will hit hard. Like, ooh.
I think for some people especially.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah.
These jokes cannot be repeated, but I'm running through them in my head.
Yeah, there were some bangers.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think if any of our listeners have ideas or like past experiences with incredible weird celebrations, I would love to hear them.
Yeah, you should just crowdsource it. Maybe we can crowdsource it.
Yeah,
we'll make it a Vulnerability Junkies publication.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah,
pretty cool, right? Yeah. So yeah, leave it in the comments somewhere, or send us an email, or fill out one of our feedback forms, which I don't think we've ever plugged, but in all of our episode descriptions, we have links to these Google forms where you can ask us questions, give us feedback, or give shout outs to other people, like maybe friends who are fans of the podcast. So yeah, let us know in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. All right. I think we check out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm leaving with a to do.
Right.
that I'm not formally committed to, but
Yeah.
kind of getting there. Yeah, I should probably do this for my birthday. Yeah, I think it would be great. And yeah, what am I really feeling? The word confused comes up, but it's like confused and inspired hybrid. Like I can't believe that my definition of a birthday party should be just got flipped
Right.
180 degrees. So now I'm like, wow, what I thought was conventional is it's wrong. It doesn't really do its intended purpose, which is now making me think. So I'm a little confused, a little inspired. Yeah. What about you?
Nice. I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling excited to just like use this insight that celebrations are often very under leveraged.
Yeah, they just don't do what they're intended to, like the stated purpose.
Right.
We're not celebrating the person.
Right.
Like you're saying, we celebrate around them.
Right. In their general vicinity.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just thinking more for other friends' birthdays, like what I can encourage them to do differently, or like also for celebrating, other events, in people's lives, people having kids. Like I just feel like there's like so much opportunity there to do weird stuff. So we should do more weird stuff. And I'm feeling excited about the idea of investing more in the creation of weird stuff. And I'm feeling excited about the idea of making playbooks for some of the stuff.
Yeah. People hire people like companies to do their birthday parties. Like you imagine doing like this stuff for someone, like an adult birthday party. Like that would be so much fun.
Yeah. Whew. Huh. Interesting. Yeah.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. All right. I think on that note, thanks to everyone everywhere for tuning in or watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.